This conference will now be recorded.
Hey guys, this is Naveen here. Welcome back to Naveen Automation Labs, and this is the part 3 series for Selenium interview questions and series. Sorry for delay, guys. That from last 1 week I couldn't get time to prepare the video, but yeah. So let's start without wasting our time. So the third part is state the difference between WebDriver close and quit method. Although it's a very simple question, but there is a concept, and I'm pretty much sure some of the people or most of the people are not aware about the exact difference with respect to session ID. So I'll tell you what exactly the difference. So first of all, we know that okay, close and quit both are used to close the browser. It will simple close the browser. If you are using driver.quit, right? If you're using driver.quit, it will close all the instance of the WebDriver. And if you have, let's say, multiple windows, you have 2 windows or 3 browser windows, all the browser windows will be closed immediately, right? Driver.close also is used to close the window, close the browser, but where exactly the control is available. Let's see my control, the driver control is I have switched from parent window to child window, right? In that case, the child window pop-up or child window browser will be closed if you are using driver.close. And let's see my control again back to parent window. And then if you are using driver.close, then it will be closed over there, right? Other than that, what exactly driver.close and driver.quit, the difference I'll tell you. Practically, I'll show you. See, I'll show you here that, wait, not here. I'll show you in the form of coding. And in my recent examples, let's see, yeah, okay, src main java, go to this, and let's see WebDriver sessions. Okay, not here. Okay. One second, guys. I just forgot the class name. Okay, let me check this guy. Okay, not this. Yeah, this one. Sorry. Okay, let's see WebDriver session ID concept. Now see it carefully. What I'll do that I'll simply launch my google.com on Google Chrome and driver.get title, getting the title, and then I'm using closing the browser, right? Now forget about this line. Forget about this line. The moment I close the browser, immediately browser will be closed, right? We all know that the browser will be closed. And then the browser is closed, then I'm trying to get the title. Now you run this particular example, and then you see what exactly is happening on the console. It means after closing the browser, I'm using driver. So browser is closed and it's saying, see, no such sessions exception. It's saying invalid session ID. It means whatever the session got created for your server to maintain the connection between, okay, between the client and the server. Server means your Selenium server. The session ID is invalid. Okay, and now I'll show you with debug mode. So I'll put a debugger over here at line number 13, and then you simple debug as Java application. The moment you debug as Java application, let's see, this is launching the browser. You can see that, yes, I'll enter the URL, fine. It's entering the URL, you can see it over here. And then I'll get the title. But before getting the title, you mouse over and you observe the session ID. You can see the session ID is this. You can see FB012, something like this, right? Some unique session ID got created. Now remember this, starting with FB012. Now you do one thing, you press F6 once again, print the title, that's fine. And then you check here also at line number 15, the same session ID is maintained, FB, so that we can get the title. Same session ID is maintained to close the browser also, same FB012. And the moment I close the browser, and then again you mouse over on your driver, and still the same session ID is there. But in this case, what will happen? The session ID is invalid now. The session ID got expired. Now you cannot perform because browser is closed. You can see that, okay, there is no browser. Just because of this line number 19, the browser is closed. It means session got expired. You have disconnected from the server. It means there is no session ID, right? So the moment you pass a driver.getTitle, now it means this driver is having this particular session ID, but this session ID is invalid now, and that's why you are getting this particular exception that yes, invalid session ID, no such session exception. So remember, this is a very important difference. Now we will do one thing. I'll be using driver.quit. So quickly I'll write driver.quit over here. Quit is also used to close the browser. So again, now what will happen after quitting the browser? After quitting the browser will be closed, and then again I'm using driver.getTitle. So let's see what happens. Quickly you see the browser will be closed. Yes, yeah, but still I'm getting the same exception, no such session exception, but this time it's saying session ID is null. Are you using WebDriver after calling quit? Right guys, are you using session ID is null? Are you using WebDriver after calling quit? So this is the in case of quit. So this is in case of when you close the browser, and this is in case of when you quit the browser, right? Now let's debug it and let's see what is happening. So I'm running in debug mode quickly. Why I'm showing in the form of example in the coding, guys, so that you can understand properly. I don't want to cover in a theoretical part. So now you run it and you see, you mouse over on driver. Now remember this time I'm getting some session like this, D9FB9, something like D9B94, right? Okay, so browser is fine, getting the title on the console, perfect. And then with the same driver, you mouse over, you're saying yeah, send the same session ID, and then you quit, and then you see the browser got closed, and then you try to get the title, okay, with the same driver, but this time we are getting what driver is there, but with the null session ID. It means your session ID got null now. There is no session. Okay, so that's why we are getting same error, that are you using WebDriver after calling quit, and your session ID is null. So in case of close, this is okay, it will show you invalid session ID, but in case of quit, it will show you your session ID is null. So this is again a very important difference between quit and close with respect to session ID. Okay, so remember this particular theory. That's why we are getting, you can see once again, session ID is null, right guys? So please remember this thing. I'll just write this line over here, and okay, just for you guys so that you can refer it. Okay, over here. Okay, sorry for the formatting, guys. This document is not formatted properly. Okay, now the second question is state the difference between find element and find elements. So we all know that both these methods traverse the HTML DOM looking for what exactly the target element that you are looking for. But the find element, the syntax, is like this. You simply say that yeah, driver.find element by.id. So you can create the web element with the help of by locator. Either it can be by.id, by.xpath, by.css, and the return type of find element method is always a web element. So remember, this is the difference. Find element method returns the first web element matching the locator. So let's see if the find element method is let's see with the help of by.id. Let's say I'm writing by.id or by.name or by.xpath. If I'm getting, let's see, I'm passing Naveen. Okay, let me write it something like this. I'm passing, let's see, Naveen. It means, or let's see, by.name I'm using. It means there are 5 elements having the same name, Naveen, 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 right? Like this, Naveen, Naveen. 4 elements are there having the same name, Naveen. So what will happen? Okay, it will, what exactly? Method return the first web element matching the locator. So it will get this particular element. It will try to click dot send keys or whatever. So the web element will be created for this particular guy, not for all the elements, right? But in case of find elements, what will happen? If you're writing by.id or by.name, as the same by.name you are using with find elements, it will take the collection of all these elements. And what kind of collection? It will return a list. Okay, list of web element, and this object is referred by list. So that's why the return type of find elements is always list of web element. Now why list? First of all, list is dynamic array, right? It will store all the values on the basis of indexing 0, 1, 2, 3, and this is order based. It will maintain the index. And the second thing is it is dynamic. You never know. Let's see, there are today I'm getting 4 links, tomorrow I'm getting 10 links, day after tomorrow I'm getting 100 links or maybe 50 links. So the number of elements are getting increased or decreased. In that case, the return type will be list of array instead of static array. So that's why the driver.findElements method will return what? List of web element. Okay, like this. That's why it's saying the whereas the find element fetches all the passing the locator criteria. So on the basis of by.id or by.xpath you are using, it will collect all the elements together, put inside the list of web element, and then simple you can use it. Right now, another thing is another simple difference is the another difference is if no element is matched. Let's see with find element, it will raise no such element exception. Remember, this is very important. And find elements return an empty list. Let's see, nothing is found, it will return simply empty list. But with the single find element, if you are using an element is not found, in that case, it will give you what? It will give you no such element exception. Remember this thing, this is very important difference. And remember the return type also. Right guys, the return type of find element is web element, and return type of find elements is list of web element over here. Okay, this is the code that you have to simply remember. People might ask you at a time of interview. Now, how do you check if an object is present on multiple pages? So is element present method, although, okay, let's not write it like this. So there are different methods are available. First of all, is displayed method is there. Is okay, is displayed method is there, that element is displayed or not, right? Method is enabled method is there, and is selected method is there. So please watch my video. One video is there that how will you check the method is, I mean, element is available or not. So you can simply say that, okay, is displayed method or element is available on that particular page or not, right? Like this. And with the help of explicitly wait also, you can use it. You can apply one explicitly wait, and then you can wait until that particular element is present or not, but with the synchronization we are providing. But the simple question is, how do you check if object is present on multiple pages? Okay, or I would say not on multiple pages, on the single page. The question, okay, I'll take multiple page question later. Let's talk about first on single page, element is present or not. So we have, remember this method is displayed method, then we have is selected method if the checkbox is selected, and one more method is there, that is 1 second, let me check over here. Okay, driver dot, let's see, find element by dot, okay, 1 second, by dot id or whatever the id you want to use. Let's see, ff, and then see, I'll show you. Is displayed, is enabled, and is selected. These three methods you have to remember. Okay, so I just is displayed, is enabled. It just slipped out of my mind. Okay, so these three methods are available over here, right, to check present on the page. Now, one more thing you can do that. Let's see, you can use driver.findElements, pass the ID, and create a collection in the form of list of element like this, list of web element. Okay, like this. Let's see, ls is equal to this, right? And then what you do, you can simply say that, okay, is the element is available or not. So what will you do? You simply write if your ls dot size is greater than 0, right? Like this. You can see that. Let's see, the list of element is available, right? If the list of size is coming greater than 0, it means at least element is available or not. For the single element also, if you're talking about, right? So you can simply say that, okay, yeah, system.out.println element is available. Okay, element is present, like this. So this is also some quick trick we can use it. Simple driver.find elements. You collect, let's say only one button is there, one submit button is there. I want to check the submit button is there on the page. So you simply apply driver.find elements by .id of the submit button. Let's see, this is the submit button ID. And then you simply use it, okay, yeah, you collect inside the collection, inside the list, and obviously how many buttons are there? Only one, so size will be one greater than 0. It means element is available on the page, like this. So like this, easily you can do that. Okay, or you can write if only one element you are expecting, so you can simply say that, okay, so size should be 1 always, so equal to 1 also, you can write it like this, right guys? Okay, so this code also I'll write it for your reference so that you will refer this particular page later. Like this also you can do it. Okay, so another question is that you just ignore this question. I'll take this particular question later. Okay, that how to check if the element present or not. I'll write some other logic. So you just ignore this particular question later. I'll tell you this particular method later. Okay, don't worry about it. How do you check the present of an element after the successful page load? So through different ways I can do that, but that I'll take it later in next session. Okay, so you just remember, I'll do it later. Don't worry about that. We will do it. Okay. Next question is that how to handle web-based alerts, pop-ups in Selenium. It's very simple. If web-based JavaScript alert I'm talking about, how will you handle it? So simple. We have alert APIs are available, and alert API says that okay, you can create the object of alerts. Okay, sorry, you can switch on that particular alert. It will return one alert API reference, and then simple you can use it get text method to check that okay, yeah, the text of that particular element or text of available on that particular JavaScript pop-up. Accept method to accept the pop-up. Dismiss method is to dismiss the method. And something is written, let's see, keystrokes on the alert. Let's see, some text field is there on that particular alert. You can use send keys also over there, right? But generally we don't use send keys. We use all these three methods. So you please remember you have to use alert API. So I'll show you the code if you really want that. I'll show you. See, okay, see, this is the code I'm talking about. So let's say you just click on a particular alert. After clicking on, let's see, on this particular element, and then switch to that particular alert, get the text, and then verify the text is correct or not. Or you can verify in testng also. This is simple if else condition I have written, and then alert.accept and click on OK button. Right. So this is simple method just for your reference I have given. Otherwise, generally we use assertions over there with the help of assert class. Right. Okay. Next question is how to handle Windows-based alerts and pop-ups in Selenium. So Windows-based alert and pop-ups, there are various things. Windows-based alert means for your operating system, right? So for operating system, first of all, we have robot classes available, but robot class is, okay, will not work sometimes if you're running on some remote machine or maybe in headless mode. In that case, it might not work. Okay, so robot class also you can use it. Let's say I click on a file upload and then the file upload screen will be there. You have to select the file from your C drive or D drive. In that case, you can use the robot class. Okay. Second thing is the key press and key release events. You can simply use it in the robot class. Third thing is that, okay, the third solution is that you can use auto ID for that. But auto ID is only for Windows operating system. It will not work, okay, on Linux machine or some other machine, and it will not work on Jenkins also, or not in headless mode also. And then you can use the Sequely also. Sequely is image based. Okay, image based API is available. You can use Sequely also like that. And the fifth one is how will you handle the window pop-up? Let's see, file upload pop-up. File upload pop-up, you simply use send keys and then give the path of that particular file. Let's see, I'm passing user, go to Naveen folder, and then in my Naveen folder, test.txt file is there that I want to upload. So directly you can use on that particular web element, apply send keys and pass the path, okay, the path of that particular file that you want to send. I'll show you the code. We have that code, that file upload.java. Let's see. You simple, let's see, this is the URL, and then you simply use driver.find element by.name, pass the send keys, and whatever send key, let's say I want to pass this particular Excel file. Okay, like this I want to upload. You simple upload it, but make sure the type equal to file should be there, guys. Then only it will work. I'll show you right away quickly that let's see, go to this particular site, and then I'm talking about this choose file button or upload file button. See, the moment you click on it, this is called window based pop-up. Your operating system window based pop-up. You go to your documents, you go to your downloads, you have to click on a specific file. That you cannot do it with Selenium. You have to use either auto ID or Sequely or robot classes. But what I'm talking about, you can directly inspect this guy, okay, and then you see that input type equal to file should be there. Type equal to file with input, or input doesn't matter. It can be any HTML tag, but type equal to file property should be there. If this property is not there, guys, you can ask your UI developer to provide this particular type equal to 5. And then this formula also will work over here like this. Okay, so I'll write it for you guys like this. Okay, I'll remove my name from here. User test. How to handle multiple pop-up windows in Selenium? That it's a very famous interview question, and people are expecting to write the code as well, right, guys? So remember how to handle multiple window, multiple browser window pop-ups. So I would say browser window pop-ups, pop-up windows or whatever. So we have get window handle, okay, window handler API. So how will you start the answer? That we have window handler API in Selenium. So this is how you have to start. And there are two methods. One is get window handles and another one is simple get window handle. We will be using get window handles method, and this get window handle methods will return what? It will return one set. Okay, I'll show you. Forget about this particular code. I'll show you the right, I mean, the more appropriate code over here. I'll write it for you. So I say browser window pop-up. One second. So let's see. Okay, yeah, let's check this. Browser window pop-up. Okay. So what I'm saying is, let's see, you open this particular URL, you click on a particular link, and the moment you click on a link, what will happen, guys? The moment you click on a link, I'll revise. This is the link. The moment you click on this link, one pop-up is coming. Let's see, this is the pop-up is coming. So now this is my parent and this is my child. So this is my parent window, this is my child window. Right now, driver control is available over here. This is your driver. Now what we have to do, we have to switch our driver from here to here so that we can perform all the action on this particular child pop-up. So for that, what we need to do, whenever we have to switch from one window to another window, from here to here, and then here to here, what we need one unique window ID. And how will you get it? For that thing, you have to use driver.getWindowHandles method you have to use. Okay, and this driver.getWindowHandles, it will return set of string. Okay, and set is the kind of collection which does not maintain the order. Okay, so what will happen? One, let's see, object will be created like this, like this, and this is the first window ID, let's see W1, and this is the second window ID, let's see W2, and this handles whatever the name, this handle is pointing to this particular object. Now this is not order bit, this is not like 0 and 1, right? It will store like this. So what we have to do, we have to use iterator over here, and then we will be using iterator. It will return one iterator reference. So this iterator that you have created, handles.iterator, this iterator will come over here just above the set object, just above the set. But what is value over here? What kind of value over here? Nothing. We don't have anything. So what we have to do, we have to move our iterator to the next location, to the first location. Right now this is at the top of the object, right? So it is pointing to just above the the actual memory allocation of this particular object. So what we have to do, we have to use it.next. It means we have to move our iterator to here, and whatever the value is available, this W1 we will store inside the parent window ID. We will print it on the console. Then again we will move our iterator to the next value, it.next, or you can use a while loop also, but let's see, only two window IDs are there. I'm using it.next, and then I'll be getting child window ID, whatever the window ID is available over here, and both the window IDs will be in string. So that's why the set of a string we will be using, and we will store two strings over here. Okay, in two string parameters or variables we will be using. Now what I have to do, that's it. Once I get my child window ID, I'll switch to that particular window ID. So simple switch to this particular window ID and perform whatever you want to do. Let's say I want to fill this form, I want to get the title and blah blah blah, and then that's it. Let's say I want to get the title, and then here the difference again, driver.close you have to use, guys. Don't use driver.quit over here, right? So you have to use driver.close. Why? Because if you use driver.quit, it will close both the browsers, both the windows. So you have to use driver.close. So the moment you use driver.close, this particular pop-up will be closed. The moment the driver is closed, where exactly my driver now? My driver control is lost. My driver is available over here now. But what we have to do, we have to come back to the main window. We have to perform some other sequential work and some other task also. So what we have to do, we have to again switch back to the parent window. And how will you switch? Again, driver.switch to window, and whatever the parent window that you have already captured, the same window ID, you have to pass it over here. And then again, come back to the parent window and then get the title, and then you can use driver.quit or close, that doesn't matter. So when you have only single browser, guys, you can use quit and close, not a problem. But whenever you are using something like this, in that case, switch to pop-up, close the pop-up, again come back over here. Let's see, again one more link, one more pop-up is there. Switch to pop-up and then move your driver from here to here, and then close the pop-up and again come back to the parent window like this. So that switching between window to window, okay, different browser window to another window, you have to do it. And this is the exact kind of code you have to write at the time of interview on whiteboard or maybe on paper. So please prepare this interview question. It's very, very important. Okay, guys. So I try to explain you once again the complete topic. Actually, I explained. Okay. Okay. Now, another question is that how can you access a database from Selenium? So that's a very famous interview question. So what exactly the kind of answer people are expecting? So people are expecting the syntax. And syntax means in terms of what are the different methods you will be using, what are the different connection methods, how will you make the connection, how will you pass the different properties of the database like username, password, URL, and everything, and then how will you handle it. So for doing this, you please watch particular video available on my channel recently, like 3-4 days. I mean, last week only I uploaded how to make the connection with MS SQL. So now the thing is, what we have to do, guys, let's see, this is your Java code, right? The question is from your Java code, and this is your database, right? The database symbol is like this. This is your database. Now, database can be anything. It can be a SQL database like MS SQL, SQL Server, Oracle, DB2, NoSQL database like MongoDB, Cassandra, DynamoDB, right? Any kind of database it can be. So whenever you have to make the connection with all these SQL database, okay, these are the SQL database, what you need a specific code to make the connection with the database. And then once you make the connection, you will execute the SQL queries from your Java code and again get the result back to over here in some variable, and then use those variables over here in your script. The actual data that we have available over here in the form of rows and different columns are available over here. So how will you make it? So simple, what you need to do for doing this is a simple code is written. First, you need the URL, and then make sure you are using get connection method. Here you have to pass the URL of your server, user ID, and the password of your database server. So that username password, you will get it from your developer or from your DB guy, and then make the connection like this. So the complete code is, I was referring something, so you can check it over here. First, you have to use class.forName. So this is a driver class, guys, you have to load. Class.forName is to load the driver class. So this driver class you have to load. After that, driver manager dot get connection method is there, and this is the, let's say I'm using MySQL database local host, it's running on this particular server at IP address, okay, and this is the root is the username password like this. And then we have to make the connection. Create a statement method is there. So con dot create a statement, and what is con? Con is the reference of the connection, and then this guy will give you one statement reference, okay, a statement reference, and from this particular statement we will be executing our query. We can check it over here. We will be executing our query over here. Let's see, select star from employee table, and then execute query will return result set object. Remember this, execute query method will return what? Result set object. And then once we get this particular result set object, I'll be using rs.next in while loop. It means keep, okay, iterate, okay, keep traversing the complete result set object and keep printing the value. Let's see, get int, get string. So get int method is used to when there is an integer value is available or numeric data is available, okay, in your column. And get string means there is a varchar or string value is available like this. And once value is done, I simple close the connection. Remember, closing the connection is very important over here like this. So this is simple 3-4 lines of code you have to practice, you have to remember, and the same method name, same class name you have to tell. First, class.forName, make the connection, create the connection, execute the query, get the result set, and with the while loop you get the value and finally close the connection. This is important. So these 4, 5, 6 steps are there. That's it to remember. More than enough for interview point of view. Because practically you don't have to show, because they cannot tell you that, okay, hey, get this laptop and make the connection with the database. Where's the database in that laptop, right? So people won't ask practically that, okay, you make the connection, but they're expecting to write the code like this. So please remember this thing. Okay. And if you really want to see it practically, I have already created one video, and please watch that video, how to make Java, how to base database connection with Java code from Naveen Automation Labs. You can check it over there. Right, guys? So till here, I'll just stop this particular video now. So part 4 will be more interesting. So we will be using part 4 from here. Okay. So that's all for this particular video, guys. And I'm pretty much sure that, okay, this particular series is helping you. And let me know if you have any questions. And please prepare these questions. Part number 1, part number 2, and part number 3. The descriptions are already there in, okay, the links are already there in the description. And let me know if you have any issues. Okay. So thank you so much for watching Naveen Automation Labs, and keep watching, keep learning, guys. Thank you so much.